Time does not erase what the ocean refuses to return. And the story of the USS Cyclops proves that some disappearances never truly end. They only echo. March 1918. The Cyclops disappears. June 1919. The Navy declares the case closed. And for decades the world moved on, or tried to. But the ocean's silence never stopped reverberating. Year after year, the ship's name resurfaced in newspapers, books, academic studies, and whispered conversations among sailors. The disappearance of the Cyclops became more than a naval tragedy. It became a reference point, the beginning of every maritime mystery that followed. For the families of the 309 lost men, time brought no peace. Without bodies, wreckage, or explanation, closure was impossible. In 1921, the Baltimore Sun published a poignant article. Some mothers still watch the horizon. They say the sea owes them something, a letter, a word, a sign. Letters to the U.S. Navy continued to arrive through the 1930s. One, written by a widow named Clara Morrison, read, "If he's gone, the sea took him. But if he's still out there, I hope the waves keep him warm." These voices of quiet grief gave the story a heartbeat and ensured the Cyclops would never simply fade into the archives. By the late 1920s, sailors crossing the Atlantic began trading strange tales. They spoke of rhythmic knocks echoing through the hulls of passing ships, metallic pulses from below, always in sets of 3 short, 1 long. They called it the heartbeat of the Cyclops. The story spread from port to port. "That ship never sank," they said. "The sea swallowed her whole, but she's still breathing down there." Fact blurred into folklore, and the legend began. In the 1950s, author Vincent Gaddis was compiling maritime mysteries for a magazine article when he noticed something remarkable. Many of them, including the Cyclops, had vanished within the same triangular region between Miami, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda. In 1964, he published The Deadly Bermuda Triangle. The phrase was born, and the Cyclops became its founding myth. From that moment on, the disappearance of 1918 ceased to be just a historical event. It became the cornerstone of a global mystery. In the decades that followed, the story was retold again and again. Books, films, and television shows described it as the greatest maritime enigma of the 20th century. In 1974, Charles Berlitz's bestseller The Bermuda Triangle turned the Cyclops into the centerpiece of a near-supernatural narrative, a ship swallowed by unseen forces in a place where physics itself seemed to break down. Millions were enthralled. And for the first time, the Cyclops wasn't just a ship. It was a symbol. The Navy, meanwhile, stayed silent. When pressed by reporters, their answer never changed. Cause unknown. In the 1970s, the mystery deepened when 2 of the Cyclops' sister ships, the USS Proteus and the USS Nereus, also vanished under eerily similar circumstances in the same region of the Atlantic. The Proteus disappeared in 1941, the Nereus a year later. Neither sent distress calls, neither left debris. 3 ships, same design, same ocean, same fate. To believers, it was proof that the Bermuda Triangle was cursed. To engineers, a sign that the Proteus-class ships had an undiscovered design flaw. But to the public, it was confirmation that the legend lived on. The Cyclops quickly became a recurring figure in popular culture. Films like The Bermuda Triangle, 1978, and Secrets of the Sea, 1980, and later documentaries by National Geographic and History Channel, retold its story as both warning and wonder. In fiction, Cyclops became a metaphor for loss, for mystery, for the unreachable. In 1996, author Clive Cussler even imagined the ship being found intact inside an undersea cavern in his novel Cyclops. Fiction had embraced history and turned it into legend. In the early 2000s, historians revisited the original Navy archives. Among them were James P. Delgado of the Smithsonian and Michael Barnett of NOAA. Barnett discovered that several communication reports and telegrams related to the Cyclops' final voyage were missing, some removed, others misplaced. Entire pages from certain investigation files had been torn out. Delgado later remarked, "It's possible the mystery grew not only from tragedy, but from bureaucracy. The Cyclops was lost twice, once at sea and once on paper. What the ocean erased, the archives buried deeper." Between 2010 and 2020, high-resolution sonar expeditions scanned the presumed route of the Cyclops, most focused on coordinates 28°, 66° of the heart of the Bermuda Triangle. No wreckage was ever confirmed. However, one sonar survey detected metallic anomalies nearly 3,700 meters deep, far beyond the reach of conventional recovery technology. Barnett, who led the research, commented, "The ocean floor is history's last archive. The Cyclops is a page we haven't yet read." The mystery remained, quiet, cold, and intact. Despite its aura of legend, the Cyclops' loss led to tangible reforms. In the 1920s, the U.S. Navy introduced new stability and cargo protocols, as well as mandatory emergency radios for all major vessels. In 2018, on the 100th anniversary of the disappearance, the Naval History and Heritage Command held a ceremony honoring the 309 lost sailors. A single bell tolled 309 times, one for each soul. No one spoke of the Bermuda Triangle, but every speech carried the same message: humility before the sea. The legacy of the Cyclops is paradoxical. It is both a cautionary tale and a monument to the unknown. Each generation rediscovers it, drawn to its unanswered silence. Oceanographer Dr. William Sager of the University of Texas said in 2020, "The Cyclops endures because it isn't just about a ship. It is about humanity, its relationship with the unknown, and our refusal to accept silence as an answer." Maybe the ocean doesn't hide secrets. Maybe it simply reminds us that the unknown is part of the journey. More than a century later, the Cyclops remains missing. But its story endures in every map, every study, every whisper of the Bermuda Triangle. It has become part of the ocean itself. Whether legend or lesson, the Cyclops stands as a symbol of human fragility before nature's vastness, an echo that refuses to fade.